As you clicked on this video, I'm assuming that you're a skinny young man who actually wants to do something for yourself, and you've had enough and you just want to make a change, and you actually want to work on yourself and be happy with yourself. And obviously you want to drive towards success, right? And this video is to basically reinstall that mindset and that urgency of yours in order to do those things, and to basically just wake you up to why you've got to make your young years count. And this video is basically in terms of, you've got to make your young years count in terms of looking after yourself physically and developing those foundations and that physique. Therefore, you're going to have better long-term health, you're going to be looking better in 10 years, and you're going to get ahead of the game. And when people are going to actually start realizing that taking care of their physical health is so important, you're already 5 to 10 years ahead of them. And you're basically setting yourself up for success, right? If you look after your health, then you know the old saying, health is wealth. So basically, in this video, I'm going to be going over a few things that I want to explain with you guys as to why you've got to make your young years count in terms of looking after yourself physically. And before we get into this video, I just want to briefly introduce myself to you guys so you actually know who I am. So my name is Ryan, and I have undergone a physical and mental transformation over the past 3.5 years, taking myself from this in 2021 to now looking like this in 2024. And I'm on a mission to inspire and help skinny young men who struggle with the gym and struggle to gain muscle and weight, to help them do those things and to help them, on their way towards sculpting their dream physique. And in order to help me in order to make this happen, I've just recently launched my very own online community that helps skinny guys sculpt their physiques. And as of this recording, there's currently 45 members in, and it's not even been 2 weeks. So the community's growing, the brotherhood is going. If you're a skinny guy and you're sort of struggling with the gym and you want a little bit of guidance and you want to make progression as efficiently as possible, then it's going to be the top link in the description. It's completely free, no strings attached, and I've got some really exciting stuff that by the time this video is out will be released in the community, including a free program, some videos, some wisdom. So if that sounds good to you, then I'll leave it in the top link in the description. So now, without further ado, let's get into this video. So as I said, I've got a few things I want to go through with you guys in order to reiterate why making your young years count is, it can set you up for success. And if you do this, then you're going to inevitably be successful when you're older, right? So the first thing I want to go into is most obviously, your young years or your prime years for building muscle. So you've got to be looking after yourself physically, and you've got to start taking care of yourself as soon as possible. Whether you're watching this and you're a 15-year-old or whether you're watching this as a 25-year-old, it doesn't matter. You've got to take action. You've got to do what's best for you. So making sure that you're aware that your young years or your prime years for building muscle and actually sculpting your physique is absolutely crucial. And I'm going to go into a few reasons why this is the case. First of all, you're obviously going to have high test levels. As a young man, your test levels are naturally going to be very high, which is so crucial for building muscle, because having high levels of testosterone in your body helps processes such as when your muscles are repairing, you train harder. And another thing as well, you're going to have more of a motivation and more of a desire and more of a drive to conquer the world, right? Because when you are a high test man, then you just want to fucking conquer the world and do everything and anything you can in order to do something for yourself, right? So as you have high test levels in your body as a young man, you're gonna naturally be able to recover quicker, train harder, your muscles are going to be able to repair themselves quicker. Therefore, you're not going to be sore, and you can train more and you can train harder. Therefore, that's just going to inevitably lead to more muscle growth, right? So you've got to be taking advantage of your young years for the hormonal reasons. You're going to naturally have high testosterone levels as a man, and obviously as you get older, the more the natural testosterone levels in your body drop. And that's why people, when they're older, they go on TRT, which is known as testosterone replacement therapy, because when they're older, their testosterone levels are so low that they don't have much, and they want to have relatively high testosterone levels. So that's why a lot of older men, when they get to their 50s and 60s, they consider going under the process of having TRT, aka testosterone replacement therapy. So it's so important that you take advantage of these high testosterone levels in your body naturally now, right? And not when you're older, because you won't have them. You've got to take advantage of them now. So that's the first thing. Having the high testosterone levels will contribute to you being able to repair quicker and obviously inevitably grow muscle quicker and train harder and all that good stuff. And the second thing that I want to go into is that as a skinny young man, or just as a young man in general watching this video, you're going to have metabolic advantages. So basically what I mean by this is, as a skinny young man wanting to gain muscle and gain weight, you're naturally going to have a higher metabolism. And basically what a high and fast metabolism means is that regardless of whether you're at rest or whether you're doing activity and you're physically active, you can burn calories a lot easier. Therefore you can balance out that balance out that muscle to fat ratio really nicely. And you know, as you have a fast metabolism as a skinny young man, you can handle food better, which is absolutely crucial for bulking and gaining weight and gaining muscle. Because as a skinny young man, you can't not bulk. You have to bulk if you want to gain muscle. If you don't want to bulk but you want to gain muscle as a skinny young man, then I'm sorry, mate, but you're not going to be able to gain muscle. So you have to bulk, and this fast metabolism contributes to that so much, because you're going to be able to you know, your body and your systems are going to be able to handle food a lot easier. And as I said, the fast metabolism, you can burn fat easier, more efficiently, whether you're at rest or whether you're at activity. So when you bulk, you're going to balance out the muscle to fat ratio really nicely, and that is going to contribute to you towards you know, minimizing your fat gain on the bulk, which is so important, because in the long term, when you want to cut down, you don't want more fat on your body to shed off, because it's going to take longer, you're going to have to eat less, and it's going to be more mentally challenging. So you've got to take advantage of this whilst you can. And I want to give you guys an example of why you need to take advantage of this when you're young, and why having a fast metabolism when you're young makes things so much easier for you in comparison to when if you were to, you know, if you wanted to do this 20 years down the line, for example, and you know, you had a slower metabolism, right? So obviously as you age, you know, your metabolism gets slower, right? Your metabolism gets lower, and your body can't necessarily handle lots of food. And you know, because your metabolism because your metabolism drops, then you're not going to be able to burn fat as efficiently. So the example I want to give you guys here is me bulking versus my dad bulking. So me as a 19-year-old, obviously I've got a very fast metabolism right now, and obviously that means I can burn fat more efficiently, whether I'm resting, whether I'm activity. And as I said, I can handle food a lot more, which is so good, because I can just eat so much, and you know, it's perfect. I can handle more food, and this consequently led to me in my last bulk gaining 10 kilos in 6 months. However, in comparison to my dad, he's 53. He's just got back into the gym. He's training hard. He's got good muscle memory from back in the day when he used to be able to bench 150 kilos, and he had some good muscle on him. So he's got that muscle memory. He's training hard. He's got some good muscle definition to him. However, he's got to be a lot more careful when he starts bulking, and he's going to be starting to bulk literally tomorrow, as I am as well. I'm starting my bulk tomorrow as of this recording, right? But the point I'm trying to make here is that my dad's got to be a lot more careful, because as he's older, his metabolism has dropped. Therefore, he can't necessarily handle food a lot easier, and he's not necessarily going to be able to burn fat as efficiently. And he's also got to consider long-term health as well, and he's got to consider looking after his, you know, his internal organs and his arteries and his heart and everything else. So he's got to be a lot more careful. Therefore, the process is going to be a lot slower, and the margin for gain when you get older, due to having a reduced metabolism, is going to be smaller. However, because I've got a fast metabolism and I've got all these higher test levels, then my margin for gain right now is absolutely massive, right, compared to my dad's, right? So it's so important that you just take advantage of your young years, because you're going to have a fast metabolism. So as a skinny young man, you can eat more, your body can handle more food, which is absolutely perfect for bulking and building muscle, because you need to be able to eat food, right? And because your high test levels as well, my dad doesn't necessarily have the testosterone levels I do, therefore, that means that, as you're a skinny young man, you can train harder. I personally, in comparison to my dad, I can train harder, I can repair quicker, and therefore I can grow muscle quicker and more efficiently and easily compared to my dad, right? So it's so important that you just take advantage of your young years for these reasons, as they are your prime years for building muscle. And the final thing I want to get onto is that your body is more adaptable, right? As I have been saying, you can train harder because of the higher test levels, and you can eat more because you got fast metabolism. Therefore, you're literally going to force your body to adapt because you're putting stress on your body through the hard training every time. Therefore, it has to change and it has to keep up with it. And obviously, you're going to be eating more than your body actually needs to stay at the same weight because you're bulking, and your body can actually handle that because of the fast metabolism. Therefore, your body is going to be able to adapt and evolve easier. Therefore, you're going to be able to build the foundations, and when you're young, it's the most perfect time to be building your foundations that you can obviously maintain and build on for the future. Therefore, you're going to have better long-term health, which can lead to obviously you'll be able to carry out physical activity for a longer period of time when you get older, and you're going to have increased longevity, obviously. You're just going to be overall a lot more healthy, a lot healthier in the future. So yeah, your body is a lot more adaptable now compared to, for example, my body is a lot more adaptable now compared to my dad's, right? So it's so important that you just realize that your young years are your prime years for building muscle. Now on to the second section of this video. Now this is basically just going to hold you accountable, and I don't think you have any more excuses after this. So because you're a skinny young man and you want to, you've got to make your young years count. You have fewer responsibilities, right? You barely have any responsibilities in life as a young man. You don't have a job. You don't have many deadlines to meet for your job. You don't have any responsibilities. You have very little, obviously, cleaning up the house and going to school. But in the grand scheme of things, that is fuck all, right? So you have the freedom to prioritize fitness. You have the flexibility to focus on anything. And if you're wise, and if you're actually smart, and if you're actually serious about wanting to be successful, and if you're actually serious about wanting to look after yourself, physically and mentally and all of that, then be smart, invest in yourself, get a gym membership, buy some protein powder, buy some healthy food, actually look after yourself. You've got to seize this opportunity because you're not going to have this much time in your life for a while when you're working on yourself and working on your career when you get older, okay? So if you actually prioritize fitness and you actually use your time wisely, then then you can obviously, as I said earlier, you're going to be able to build the foundations earlier. Therefore, you can build on them in a long time, and it's going to be a lot smoother in a long time to build on that. And if you're actually, as I said, you're wise with your time and you invest in yourself when you're younger and you actually prioritize fitness when you got the time, then when you actually get older, when people get older in general, their desire to actually look after themselves and take care of themselves, they have that all of a sudden realization that they actually need to take care of themselves. And if you do this when you're young and you prioritize this, then you're going to lay the foundations. This is a perfect time to lay the foundations. Therefore, in the future, when things get busy, when you've got a high demanding job, and when your schedules are packed, it's going to be a lot easier to be able to balance everything and to be able to maintain and build on everything in the future. Therefore, it's going to help you down the line, okay? So you've got to be taking advantage of this time you have now because, as I said, the present is the greatest gift we have, and you're not going to realize it was the greatest gift we have until you look back on those years, right? So it's so important that you realize that you've just got to prioritize. You've got so much time, right? You've got so much time. You're literally not doing anything. So you've just got to be smart, invest in yourself, and do the right thing for you going forward, okay? And one more thing as well, I just really want to briefly touch on something before I move on, but the reason I'm not really touching on this too much now is because it's the final point in the video. But you want to be able to, you want to be able to use your time wisely in order to avoid future regret, right? As I just said, many adults, when they get older, they realize that, oh shit, I actually want to take care of myself, and they sort of regret that they didn't take advantage of their time when they were younger and that they actually didn't use it wisely, and they were doing shit that basically they were just wasting their time and it didn't necessarily help them in any way, shape or form, right? So you want to be able to avoid future regret, and you don't want to look back at yourself in 10 years time, actually realize that you need to take care of yourself and realize that, oh shit, I had so much time when I was younger. Now I have this job and I don't even think I can bloody take care of my fitness. So I'll give you a prime example, right? And he was saying how he doesn't necessarily have time because of how busy he is with work and his family and his kids. However, if he actually took care of his body when he and himself physically when he was younger, when he had fewer responsibilities, and when he had more time on his hands, he would 110% be in shape now, and he'll be able to balance it a lot better with his work now. And he thinks he doesn't have time now, but I guarantee you, if he took care of his body and his physical self when he was younger, he would 110% make the time for it, and everything would be a whole lot easier for him. He'll be a lot better. He'll be a lot better mentally and physically and as a person. So you just got to take time. You just got to take advantage of your young years. You've got fewer responsibilities. What else are you gonna do? You may as well work on yourself. You may as well be smart and invest in yourself and get ahead of the others. So that is the second section of this video. You've got fewer responsibilities in life, so you've literally got little to no excuses to actually not work on yourself. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in the gym, but just with any physical activity in any way, shape or form, just look after yourself and take advantage of the time you have now, because you're not gonna have that much time when you're older, okay? And you'll regret that, right, if you don't take advantage of it now, as I said. Now on to section number 3 of this video as to why you've got to make your young years count, right? And this is because, wait, hold on, I'm just going to adjust the camera. And this is because if you take advantage of your young years and you actually look after yourself physically, you're going to be able to build on good habits, and you're going to be able to create good habits for yourself in these young years, which will basically just set you up for inevitable success in the future. And this is because you're going to create healthy habits that you're going to keep for life. And as I said, you've got more time on your hands, therefore it's going to be easier to develop these habits. Therefore, when life comes at you fast, when you get busy, when you've got a highly demanding job and career, you're going to be able to keep these good habits going and consistent. Therefore, it's going to be able to propel you to success, right? The earlier you get these good habits under wraps, such as having a consistent routine with the gym, having a healthy diet, taking your supplements every morning, having all of your 5 a day, for example. The earlier you get all of this stuff in check, and the earlier you build good habits of all of this, for example, even if it's just like meditating, for example, just good habits, right? If you build on them when you've got more time and when you're younger, you're going to be able to maintain them and keep them and building them a whole lot easier in the future when life comes at you fast and when you've got more responsibilities, in comparison to when if you're 10 years down the line right now, you really busy with your job and you think you haven't got too much time, it's going to be absolutely impossible for you to build on the good habits. And because you can't build on the good habits and because you haven't got enough time, then you're going to start to feel regret, as I said. Therefore, you're going to start to look down on yourself and you're going to be disappointed in yourself, and you don't want that, do you? Right? So it's so important that you take advantage of your young years in order to build these good habits early on. And the earlier you build these good habits and the earlier you build these foundations, the better you're going to be in the future, and the better you're going to be able to balance everything. And I'm not even joking, like the better quality life you're going to be able to live, right? Because the more you look after yourself, the healthier you're going to be, the better you're going to feel about yourself, the more your morale is going to be improved every day and increase every day, right? So building these on these habits is so important. The gym provides so many benefits you can't buy, right? You get them from the gym and they're so transferable into different avenues and aspects of your life. These benefits are so flexible, and as I said, if you get these good habits under wraps as early as you possibly can, then you're going to be inevitable to set yourself up for success. And these good habits, as I said, like getting a consistent routine with the gym, and that teaches you a lesson of stay consistent even when you don't feel like it. You show up to the gym, which can transfer into, for example, your work life and your job, which can make you have inevitably a more successful career, right? If you show up to your desk even when you don't feel like it. There's a lot of times when you get older, you may see on TV programs or something, I don't know, where adults, they call in ill when they're not ill, they just can't be fucked and they want to stay in bed, right? If you actually develop the habit of good consistency with the gym and showing up when you don't feel like it and building on the discipline, then the more you're going to be able to transfer this into your work and other aspects of your life, and you're going to be able to get shit done when it actually needs to, therefore increasing your chances of success in the future. And when you start to take care of yourself as well, you're going to want to start to have good sleep, right? You're not going to want to be scrolling on your phone all night and having less than 8 hours sleep. You want to be able to prioritize sleep, which is going to lead to you balancing your hormones. Therefore, you're going to be able to increase your recovery as well. The more sleep you have and the more quality sleep you have, the more efficiently your body's going to be able to repair and recover. Therefore, you can train harder, and obviously that's going to help muscle growth. And obviously, as you have better quality sleep, you're going to be able to improve your mood, and you're going to be able to reduce fatigue. Therefore, you're just going to feel absolutely amazing about yourself. You're going to have more self-esteem within yourself, and life is just good, right? And with the gym and taking care of yourself, you're going to want to take care of your diet. You're going to be more disciplined. As I said, you're going to be showing up when you don't feel like it, even with your family as well. Not just work and the gym. It literally, these benefits and these good habits that you just get into, they transfer into so many different avenues and aspects of your life. And you can honestly, you can improve the quality of your life so much by just developing these really good habits slowly when you're young. Now on to the final little section of this video. So I just want to go over with you guys that you want to be able to avoid future regret, right? You don't want to be sitting on your sofa in 10 years and you don't want to be thinking, oh, for fuck's sake, why did I not actually, take advantage of the time I had? Why did I not take advantage of when I had high testosterone levels? Why did I not take advantage of when I had a fast metabolism? Therefore, I could withstand eating more food. Therefore, I could have gained more muscle. That could have helped me gain more and more strength, right? You don't want to be sat on your sofa thinking, oh shit. You don't want to be living with that pain, right? You don't want to be living with regret when, you actually physically can't change anything. When you get older, you're going to be less able to do stuff. And when you're older, you don't want to be sitting there and wishing that you actually, you really wanted to do something, but you actually didn't because, you were stupid and you wasted your time. And, you might have been scared to commit to a bulk or something. And then you're sitting there thinking, oh, fuck, what could have been? Right? And you don't want to be sitting on your sofa thinking, oh, you could have done more with yourself, right? That's probably the worst type of pain you want to live with. You don't want to be sat on your sofa, as I said, wishing you did something. It's out of your control. You can't do it anymore. Let me ask you just one quick question. Do you want to be sat on your sofa in 10 years, living with the pain of discipline? Therefore, you're going to be looking down at your physique, saying, I've worked fucking hard, I deserve this, and I've put in the work, and I'm so happy? Or do you want to live with the pain of regret? Wishing that you actually took action, and you're sort of going to be less able as you get older as well. The older you get, the less able you are to do stuff. Therefore, you basically can't do anything about it, and you can't take action because you've wasted all that time, right? And we only get one life, and you don't want to be sitting in your sofa thinking that you've sort of wasted that, and you really wish you actually did something with it, and you took advantage of your young years, and you actually built yourself up physically, looking after yourself. And another thing as well, if you neglect fitness and you don't take advantage of your young years and you don't prioritize this stuff, then that can lead to long-term health problems and diseases, and that can restrict you in certain walks of life. Therefore, for example, if you don't take advantage of your health and you've got really bad joints by the time you're 35 and your knees, and you can't necessarily run properly, then how do you think that's going to make you feel when your kids want to be able to play football with you outside, right? So little things like that as well. It literally goes that deep. Like, it's not just regretting that you didn't take advantage of your fitness because you wanted to be in good shape. It's about, it's actually about taking care of yourself as well, and ensuring that you have good long-term health and ensuring longevity, right? You want to be able to spend as much time with friends and family as possible, and you want to be able to keep yourself limber in order to be able to do as much stuff as possible, right? But if you don't take care of your fitness and you neglect your fitness and your health, then, you can restrict yourself from doing stuff earlier in your life, and you don't want to be doing that, right? And you don't want to get to the point where you actually regret stuff so much and you can't do anything about it. Do you know how fucking painful that would be, right? For example, if I didn't take action on building my physique, and by the time I was 35 years old, I look back and, for example, I've got a knee problem and I haven't looked after myself, and I'm fat and I'm out of shape, and, I'm not living a good life I want to. How fucking painful do you think it will be if I'm sitting on my sofa and I'm like, oh, fuck's sake, I actually wish I did something for myself. I actually wish I was a better role model for my kids. I actually wish I lived a better life and a healthier life. You know, You don't want to be sat there with that regret of not knowing what your potential could have been and not knowing what could have been, because you only get one life and you don't want to fucking waste it, do you? You don't want to be sat on your sofa looking down at yourself as a sack of shit because you didn't do what was right for you, and you don't want to actually sit there with regret. So, that's what I've got to say to you guys. And another thing as well that I want to say is that I briefly I saw something the other day about it was on a podcast of Jimmy Carr. I'm not too sure who he was actually on a podcast with, right? But I saw a clip of it really stuck out to me. He was saying how when you're older, you're gonna want to sell all of your materialistic things that you have, and all your property and all of your money, and you would sell that and get rid of that just to be young again and just to have the physical health and the health you have when you're young and the capabilities you have when you're young. And he said how that's a really interesting meditation to sit with, and I genuinely think is interesting as well, because it got me bloody thinking, right? And I wouldn't want to be 50 years old and look back and think, oh fuck, I actually wish I looked after myself when I had the opportunity and when I had the capabilities to, because now I'm sat here with a fucking heart disease and I haven't got too long left to live. However, if I actually took advantage of my young years, and I could have another 10, 20 years to my life, right? You don't want to, the overall summary of this part of the video is, in 10 years' time, do you want to be sitting on your sofa living with the pain of regret because you didn't take advantage of your young years? Or do you want to live with the pain of discipline? Be a man 10 times better than the person that would live with regret and actually fulfill your potential. Now, that concludes this video, and this video is coming to a close. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you have enjoyed this video and, truly learned something about how don't waste your fucking young years. You only live once. The present is the greatest gift we've got. And do you want to live with the pain of regret or discipline? It's your choice, your responsibility. Start taking fucking action now, my friend. And if you have enjoyed this video and truly learned something, as I said, I'd really appreciate it if you could drop a like, a comment, and a subscription down below. It'll help me massively. And, you can learn more from me. And, if you subscribe and like and comment, the algorithm's going to recommend me to you more. Therefore, you can see my videos when they pop up when I release them. And I'm releasing videos 3 times a week, so, you don't want to be missing out on any wisdom and value, do you? And if you want, if you want more help and guidance from me, and if you want to get access to some of the really exciting stuff that will be out by the time that this video will be out, that's exclusive to my online community, then the link is there, my friend. It's completely free, no strings attached, and I'm looking forward to seeing you inside. Now, without further ado, I will see you guys in the next video.